So another Monday here in these wacky markets. Yeah, let's get right into it. So we had a gap down. Let me jump to the 30-minute. We had a gap down even after yesterday's Friday's sell-off. I caught longs on that gap fill, and I also got a nice short in the Asia session. And it's a good thing, I wasn't looking to hold on to that, because we of course got some news on potential ceasefire, and I mean this I think was within 2 minutes. How many points was that on NQ? Over 500, 600, 700 points. So wild volatility. Before getting into kind of the situation right now, the kind of the market layout, I just wanted to share something quick. We now have more or less fully rolled out historical replays of sessions, and I wanted to take a look at the QQQ session on Friday, because I think it's really interesting. We knew, looking at exposures going into the session, basically it was, as it often is, every 5 strike. So we had a big kind of major gamma wall at 590. We had one at 585, and we had one at 580. And you can see, basically, it was of course a trend down day, but we had kind of like a straight flush from 590 to 585, and we bounced. The market kind of more or less had to eat through that 585 wall that defined the low for these 3 half-hour periods. Buyers made an attempt, failed. We broke through finally that 585 here, and that flushed us all the way down to 580, where we even broke through that. But I think in this case it was a Vanna kind of also short covering, that we had like a reflexive bounce here. And even after that, we rallied in futures all the way up to just below, again, to 585 in the after hours. But I just want to show how that looks on replay here, because I think it's super interesting, just how we bounced off 585, ate through it, and then flushed down. So this is basically. And of course, because gamma is coupled to the actual spot, it rises as you get, the 585 rises as you get closer to there. And it's also what creates that kind of dampening effect. So this feature is now available to anyone with a premium subscription. So we have historical replays. This is using the canonical open interest based exposures. So we don't have the actual trades. There you go. That's the session. We don't have the actual open interest based changes in exposure like we do in the live dashboard when you have your broker connection. So let's see here. I still got 7 minutes before they open. So yeah, the market structure here. We had that push down yesterday, the trend down. Futures rallied up to 24,200. We opened gap down, filled the gap, chopped a bit, dumped in Asia, had the news, and now we're already up here above yesterday's high. So a little thing that kind of burned me on Friday was I think I carried too much bullish bias. I was looking or hoping that this was kind of a poor high here. technically it's not a pure poor high because we had that little poke above in H period, lowercase h period. But if you look like on the minute or even the half hour, like there's just little wicks all at these highs. And I was hoping those would get cleaned up. That was of course not the case. We flushed down also in Globex on Friday morning before the open. But anyway, that's been cleaned up here, as well as that sort of squeeze from Thursday. That was also an excess high. Both of those have been cleaned up. So once again, for Monday, we have, in my opinion, a super challenging kind of layout on our hands. What we do have is what's known as, if I look on the daily here, this is known as, if we can open above, if we stay open above Friday's open, this will be basically what's called a reverse island day. So you have inventory from yesterday, it's mostly short, and if we open enough, maybe this is not significantly high enough, but all that inventory is more or less trapped, and it can lead to a gap and go. Of course, not always the case. Nothing ever is 100%, but that's kind of the bull case, more or less, is this reverse island play. The bear case, of course, is that, again, we rejected these 750 highs. So that was Thursday. We ripped up through here, no follow through. Globex Friday couldn't even get above that excess high. And even after all the news, the market couldn't push us above. You know, we still have this naked VPOC from FOMC that's up at 24,900. So seems like for now they're trying to keep us above Friday's high, but Friday's high, but basically Friday's open. But yeah, so from a surface standpoint, also difficult because we had that big move. So I expect these surfaces to change as soon as we open. But the case is, if we do get an opening drive up, this is a fully negative gamma regime, as well as fully negative Vanna. So if we do get an IV crush, these both support follow through or momentum to the upside, where the key level is 595. The largest of each of them is 595. Which, let me go back to my 30-minute here, is just below those swing highs. So kind of just above where we topped out, 24,700 or so on NQ. Not in any hurry to put on risk, since I've made like 150 points in Globex. And especially like with the news, like look at this. Like I don't even know if we've ever had, maybe the tariff trade back in April. But since then I've never seen anything like this, like a 500 point push. So makes things extra difficult in my opinion. It looks like we're going to open here right about at 24,500. So let's see how the surface changes, or if the surfaces change into the open here. Let's drop down to the minute time frame. Let's see what happens here. I guess to the of course to the bear case would be kind of to go retest yesterday's, at the very least, Friday's VPOC at 280. You know, we have this huge single print, and ridiculously, I already noted this a bit earlier, we have a full two. It's not like a bug or error. There's literally two TPOs where no trades hit in NQ. So it's not only poor structure, it's literally non-existent structure, I guess you would call. So that would be the kind of bear case or the downward case that we go down at least to the VPOC, and also even repair down to 24,100 on all this poor structure. So let's see, opening right about now in 10 seconds or so. So probably let the opening minute print, and then we can look at the surfaces here for Gamma and Vanna. See what happens. So initially it looks like Friday's open is offered. Basically 24,500. A lot of selling on MNQ. Not as much on NQ, but still in terms of delta. It's also the VPOC is way down there. Okay. So 1 minute opening range almost in. Okay, NQ has flipped positive with delta. MNQ still negative. Okay, so the 1 minute opening range is set. Can take a look at the surfaces here. So one thing I've been working on back tests, kind of has to do with those historical replays that are available now. And a really good or historical pattern is the positive Vanna strike. It's a decently strong indicator that price eventually hits it, and especially so if the positive gamma strike is the same. So that's not the case right now or currently. Max Gex is down at 580 and the max Vex is 587. But still, it's somewhere around, it's, do your own research, do your own statistics. But what I've found is that statistically the max Vex strike, I think alone has something around 50%. And when they're combined, shared, it's somewhere like 70 or 75%. We'll probably post a blog post about that, about our findings. And again, those change, of course, right? So the max Gex right now and the max Vex strikes, those could be completely different by the afternoon. But based on I believe we did first 5 minutes, you record what the max Gex and max Vex strikes are, and they typically are hit with fairly good accuracy, or fairly often, I should say. So yeah, looks weak, to be honest. Not much of an interest to kind of trap inventory from Friday. Looks like they're kind of just doing the same thing as Friday. That is like offering 24,500. But we're also still just chopping around inside the 1 minute opening range. So, and I have to I can add that. It's missing on my NQ chart. I think it's this one. Just upper and lower. And I just want the 1 minute open range at 230. I think that should do it. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, just kind of sitting here. It's probably, makes sense somehow after a Monday with a huge, probably unexpected gap up. How it looks pretty ridiculous on the daily time frame. That was the news, yeah. So VIX opened above 30, which is interesting. And even after that news, like we had a big spike down, but vol is still bid, which is of interest to note, I would say. So, you know, if we start getting above VIX 25, this weakness continues. Where is 587? I'm not sure if I have it marked because it's not like a very. So that's 585. 587's probably. Where are we looking here? Okay, so just below that swing high in the afternoon on Friday. So like, can mark it here. Just about here. And I can label it 587 QQQ. So here it looks like they're trying to break down. But I think, are we still within the 1 minute? Yeah. But they're definitely trying to push this. So a short, that's NQ. I do not want to trade NQ. So that's 24,314. If you were to sell. Thing is, like a 1 to 2R risk to reward doesn't even, if I were to short the 1 minute opening range, doesn't even, my stop is still within where we've been for the past 5 minutes. So yeah, tough. And this is just, I mean, look at this. This is barcode. There's barcode, how should I say, barcode with weakness. You know, we are kind of lower highs, lower lows outside from the initial 1 minute reaction. So, but yeah, max vex still down at 587. How is that on? That's also that's the gamma flip from positive to negative. So if they do want to sell, there's not much. The gamma has no support really until down below 587, and even then 580. 580 is. Gotta go back to the 30 minute. 580 is way down. Basically that last half hour candle there from Friday. Okay, so kind of a failed, what the heck was that? Like a failed 1 minute opening range. But that's the thing with negative gamma, right? Like it can create follow through as long as we're in negative gamma regime. It can create follow through in both directions. So they could bid us up to 595, or sell us off back to the 587. So 595 is, oh yeah, I already said that from those swing highs. To be honest, I wouldn't be interested in longs until I can see some conviction above all those excess highs, because the profiles just tell me now for 3 days now, if you include today's Globex and Friday's Globex, every time we got up there, sold off. So, but so far looking fairly strong. So check the delta on NQ. Yeah, not too impressive. So common for Mondays, as I said, with big gaps from where we closed yesterday, Friday, and big news. So VIX kind of just settling just below 25. But bulls do have this negative gamma as well as the negative vex, which are both feedback if they can get vol to drop, which they are struggling to do right now. So we'll have to see if they defend that. If buyers defend the 1 minute opening range. There's some pretty heavy offers now. But it's just so volatile. I mean, that's a 50-point stop, and it's the opening range is anyway what? Almost 100 points, so it's pretty tough. But a short here targeting that 587. Typically don't like shorting above the 1 minute opening range. But this looks, I don't know, kind of weak from an order flow perspective. Let's see, how long have I been? Yeah, already 20 minutes, so. Okay, there's a push. Yeah, I mean, if they can break 595, like accelerate through there, Gamma and Vanna would help them. So above 750, I think it's almost exactly 750, or what's my mark here? Oh, sorry, 660. Then I don't see why we couldn't get up, maybe tag that VPOC from FOMC. But yeah, in my opinion, fairly slow for combined negative GEX and negative Vanna. It's like, you know, we bid up, what is this, almost 60 points, push back down 60 points, kind of not the conviction you would want to see for a momentum or follow through play. Yeah, pretty choppy open in my opinion. You know, we keep probing into this 1 minute opening range. You know, huge 1 minute candles. You know, price was almost more orderly on Friday when VIX was higher than it is right now. So I think that'll be it for me. And yeah, see you guys next Monday. Hopefully, yeah, who knows? Hopefully, we'll have a bit cleaner setup, a bit cleaner scenario. I think it's been now 3 streams. I think 3 streams in a row now, counting today, that I didn't take any trades on stream. So yeah, gonna leave it there and see everybody next Monday. All right, take care. Bye bye.